So folks, as a human being, you have a divine ability to direct your thoughts. And in this episode, we're going to talk about why it's divine.
I'm Sienna.
And I'm Toast.
We're partners in love, life, and music. And we've been together since 2001.
With each episode of this podcast, our goal is to help our fellow LGBT community members lift their lives to the next level. Woot woot, we're sniffing chemicals. We're sniffing essential oils.
Yes, today, folks, I so need my essential oils.
Join us in sniffing.
It's so good, though. Don't you think like essential oils are like they can just turn everything around? I feel like that.
I'm busy sniffing.
Okay. So anyways,
okay.
I think I have a little resistance in doing all of our, today we're batching our podcasts.
Mm-hmm. Like we do.
And I have a little resistance. And I think that's just because I purely want to play so we can watch Game of Thrones. Like, you know what I mean? That's gotta be it. I'm fine, really. But
Sienna is wearing her new shirt.
Toast got me a shirt.
I got her a shirt for the Game of Thrones Season 8 occasion.
Yep.
Breaker of Chains, Mother of Dragons.
It's a very cute shirt. So I am ready for
Season 8
premiere.
Whatever it may bring. Well, so this is a flashback for people who are listening to this because this episode is going to come out in May. So
oh yeah, that's
you're
true.
joining us
that's
in
true.
this time travel thing because today is okay.
Just taking a few last sniffs.
Okay,
I'm ready.
Snort of the essential oils before we dive in.
All right. So we normally have been giving you our quick date updates at the top of the month. So just yesterday, Toast and I explored a new area of Portland, new to us, and it's called the Alphabet District. And from what we understand, it's like where a lot of rich people live. And when we were there, it was like, oh yeah, I think a lot of rich people live here. But it didn't feel pretentious at all.
No, it's different from SoCal rich.
Yeah, it's a different kind of rich, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was really fun. I was so delighted with the area, even where we parked our car on the street. It was just charming.
Yeah. It was so charming. And even the trees match the house color.
Yeah,
There's like that Japanese maple and that maroon tones.
Yeah.
And then the house, the giant craftsman from 1919 is right there in a beautiful painted maroon.
With their beautiful porch.
It was just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And what I've also been loving is, hang on, I'm just taking a few notes because I don't want to forget giving them a photo of the tulips.
Oh.
Okay. What I also love is that as spring is here, just anywhere you drive, you see moments of tulips.
You never
Just
see that in Southern
beautiful
California.
tulips, like full color.
Or Hawaii.
And in the Alphabet District, in the gardens of these beautiful homes, we would just see like a grand tree with various colored tulips growing around the tree in a beautiful circle. So that was just so lovely.
Yes, lovely
It
is
was
the
so
word.
lovely. And do I sound hyper? I feel a little hyper.
Oh, do you? It's these oils.
The oils and the
I'll tell
coffee.
ya.
But anyways, also why yesterday's date was so fantastic is that I stumbled upon my absolute new favorite metaphysical crystal bookshop. And it is called New Renaissance Books. And it was just fantastic. It reminded me of some of the shops in California. And it just has everything. And it was so well merchandised.
I was so impressed with that store.
Yeah.
It was well organized, but not corporate feeling.
Right. Right.
And it was very large, but yet cozy feeling.
I know. How do they do that?
Like, really very impressive, that store.
It was just fantastic. And there are a ton of great crystal metaphysical shops in Portland, but I think this one might be my favorite.
That one is the Mother of Dragons.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So today we are talking about your divine superpower, which is your thinking and your ability to direct your thoughts. Mm-hmm. So why is our thinking so important? Like, why does it even matter what we think?
Well,
why does it even matter?
Because if you think a certain thought, such as, wow, the alphabet district, that's so quaint and charming and delightful, then it's going to bring up certain emotions. Versus if you think, man, the alphabet district, those rich people, man, I wish I was rich like that. No. Then it's going to bring up other emotions.
Right, exactly. And I think, when Toast and I were talking about, like, when we discuss what topics we are going to have certain podcasts dedicate themselves to, we're like, oh, everybody knows this. Oh, yeah, but everybody knows this.
Or everybody talks about it. Everybody who's in the woo-woo, metaphysical, blah, new age, blah.
Did you say hoo-hoo?
No, I said woo-woo. Hoo-hoo. No hoo-hoo. Call Magoos. That was okay. We're all over the place. That was a slogan for a pizza place in Hilo when I was growing up. Magoo's Pizza. They said,
we
no
had one in Honolulu.
Oh, yeah? No hoo-hoo. Call Magoo's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who remembers
Just
that?
talking about pidgin
They
English
should get a prize.
Hawaii. Okay, back to...
I don't even know what I was saying now.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's recap. So
I remember
are
now.
A huge factor in how you feel.
Yes. Oh, wait, no. Okay.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so the whole point is that, I bet everyone listening totally knows all this stuff, what we're going to talk about today and why your thinking is so important. But what I also know is that all of this stuff that you already know, it's good to hear it again and again and again because
or stuff that you've heard.
Yeah, especially when it comes to our thinking, because tell me that we all have it down, control of our thoughts, and we really, we can immediately feel when it's going down the wrong path, and so we redirect it. We are all in complete and constant and continuous practice of utilizing and harnessing this gift.
Yes. It's like brushing your teeth. You do need to do it regularly.
Yes.
So this, reminding ourselves about this and
brushing your teeth.
It's brushing your teeth.
Okay. So our thinking is crucial because our thoughts create our emotions, and our emotions create our frequency or vibration, which is the thing that helps us to create our lives. It is that vibration, it is that frequency, and it all begins with your thoughts. And as a person that really leans more emotional, when I first learned this, and this was many years ago, that, my thoughts contribute to my emotions, that was really powerful to understand, because I used to think that, I just feel how I feel. Like however, if I'm feeling down, if I'm feeling happy, if I'm, however I'm feeling, that's just a feeling that comes up. It is not because of a thought I was thinking.
So you
that
felt
directly connected to an emotion.
So you felt kind of at the mercy of your emotions.
Exactly.
Almost.
But then when I learned that whatever emotions I'm feeling is connected directly to thoughts I have been thinking, it was so powerful because you can change your thought.
And that's the divine superpower. That's the divine ability that we as human beings have. I don't think any other animals, who knows? Right. Maybe Bear, our cat,
Toast,
has the ability to direct his thoughts. But I know that as human beings, we have the ability to have the self-awareness of saying, hey, wait a minute. Do I really want to think that?
Right. Yeah. So, as they say, we are spiritual beings first, and we're here having this amazing human experience. And part of our humanness and our human nature is that there will always be a part of us holding us back, as well as simultaneously having this other side, this other part of us that wants to move us forward. So it's a duality.
Yeah. And that's again part of the nature of the universe we live in, right? There's
Yes.
north and south. There's up and there's down, and there's And we'll go more into that concept a little later
Okay.
about the being pulled forward versus staying as is.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah. That's that's good. But yeah, so a part that wants to move us forward, a part that wants to hold us back. So basically, our thoughts create. They create the things that happen in your life. They create many situations.
They create your experience of life.
They create your
How you
experience of life.
how you process what happens to you and what happens around you and what you're doing. And that is your life, right? Your experience of life is your life.
Yes. So even as you're listening to this podcast right now, you are creating. We are creative beings. We are meant to create. And so you can't get around that. Like no matter what, you are creating. Like you just are. So then the choice becomes, are you going to create by default? Like think whatever you want, whatever, let your thoughts go, whatever it wants to do. Or are you going to create by design and direct your thoughts, direct your thinking? I want to create by design.
Yeah. It's that reminds me of kind of the concept of, hey, time's going to go by.
Yeah.
No matter how you choose to use your time.
Yes.
Use the
That's
time,
a good,
right?
Yes.
If time's going to go by. Like if you want to sit on the couch and eat Doritos for 3 hours, that's what you can do with 3 hours. Or you could spend, half an hour of that maybe working out. And then the other time preparing a meal and eating a healthy meal. It's up to you how to spend those 3 hours or what to do in those 3 hours. But you're going to do something during that time.
Right.
It's kind of like thinking. It's like you're going to be thinking or you're going to be creating something.
Yeah.
You can't get off the ride.
Yes. Yes. You're
It's
constantly creating.
There's no pause.
As a creative being.
Yes.
And so now let me just insert here, and Toast and I have said this many times in other episodes, that even though we create our lives, there is also this amazing force, this universal force, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, however you relate to this force. But there is this amazing universal energy and force that has this beautiful vantage point of seeing the full terrain. We don't have that vantage point as human beings, even though we are spiritual first. So there is this other working in our lives that helps to create, helps us create, and also sometimes will drop things into our path where we might not see such a direct connection with our thoughts and the things that are happening around us. But the universe is also a wonderful part in this co-creation of our lives. So we will say that.
Yes.
So how do you redirect your thoughts? Like what would be a good thing to start with?
In the process or in the project of redirecting your thoughts?
Yeah.
Well, first you have to have the self-awareness to realize to be conscious of what you are thinking. Right? You have to notice what you are noticing is one way I've heard it put.
Yes. Notice what you notice.
Notice what you're noticing.
Yeah. And we talked a little bit about that feeling of whether you're noticing that, I'm feeling like contractive, I feel all
constricted.
Stressed out. Yeah. Or if you're feeling expansive and just this wonderful vibration of just feeling good and expansive and open. So whenever you start feeling contractive, that's the time to take a pause, take a deep breath. We had some breathing exercises.
Oils.
In another podcast. You can sniff oils. But it's almost like to just kind of short circuit the train of that thinking, the train of that thought, the train of that feeling, that contractive feeling, and to then replace whatever you're thinking that's contributing to this contractive feeling to something that feels better, you know?
Yeah.
And even if it is just a very generalized statement of saying, after you take a deep breath and you release, I am more than that. I am more than that. To realize and acknowledge that greater part of yourself, you know, so you don't let those thoughts have more power than that greater side of you.
It's reminding me of the example going back to, hey, you're walking in the Alphabet District and you're walking down the sidewalk and you notice you're feeling constrictive. Is that the word we used? Constrictive?
Constrictive, contractive.
Contracted, and you're just feeling junk, basically, right? And you notice, oh, it's because, you're feeling resentful that you're not one of these rich people. Look at these rich people, you know. But you notice that, oh my gosh, look at how I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And what you can do is interrupt yourself and be like, you know what? Oh my gosh, I can walk down the street and I can look at these charming, quaint dwellings and structures and stores and the beautiful window displays, and I can go in and look, and I can look for free. Look, I can enjoy being in this area for free. I can take it in. I can relax and have some great experiences just strolling down the street, enjoying my ability to do that and enjoy this area. Wow, I'm so grateful that I can do that. So that's two different ways to process or think about and look at what you're experiencing.
Yes,
or
because
where you are, I guess, right?
Because I swear, and I know that we've all had this experience before where you have a crappy feeling, but you're not going to, you kind of have your heels dug in and you're just really allowing that crappy feeling and crappy thinking that started it to just like steer the ship. You're like, okay, yeah.
Right. It's kind of, there is a perverse joy that I have found sometimes. There's a perverse joy in being mad. That, right? I mean,
well, I think it's like, by no means am I saying that, oh yeah, don't be mad. Or if you're feeling resentful, oh, don't be resentful. You know, we're not trying to say
never feel those things.
Right. And just bypass it and like sweep it under the rug.
Right.
No, absolutely
don't be in
not.
denial. Yeah.
Yeah. You take your deep breaths to kind of just, breathe it in, process, releasing it.
And explore it. Maybe, hey, where are the origins of that? And go into your history and all that stuff.
Like
there's a time and place for that. But there's also power in the self-awareness of, hey, how long do I want to keep feeling like this?
Right. And you can put a pin in it too. Like if you're walking down the street and you're like, okay, well, I don't have time to really sit here with my journal and, go to the roots of why I've been feeling resentful of these rich people. But you can put a pin in it, and then maybe the next morning when you have your journal time, really go, yeah, yesterday I was feeling resentful. Let's take a look at that.
Yes.
But something that I was trying to say earlier about the snowball effect is we've all felt that, So say if the person, feeling resentful of all the rich people in the Alphabet District, is just kind of going with that and giving that all the power and just like in it and grouchy, and then all, they're going to then trip on that part in the sidewalk, right? Stub their toe.
Or they're going to treat other people. They're going to treat other people
crappy.
Poorly,
right? Or someone walks by.
The consequence of that too.
Someone walks by and accidentally bumps you in the shoulder, and then you're just like, who's bumping me? When it was just an accident. It snowballs, and then what you just said, then you're radiating that.
Right. You're putting out bad vibes, man.
And so it's just this lower frequency.
Yeah.
And you have the control to stop it. Stop it in its tracks.
So stop it.
Stop it. All right.
Okay, so we're going through what it looks like to engage with this ability to change your thoughts. And we said, first step, hey, self-awareness. Next step, interrupt, pattern interrupt. Raise your hand, blow the whistle, call time out and say, hey. Time to reframe things. Not deny things, not be in denial,
Right.
not to just suppress, but to just take control. Like use the authority that you have as a human being with your higher consciousness to control and direct your own thoughts. And the last point, very important, is to acknowledge that task of taking control of our thoughts, that's the work.
It is.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And here I'm going to introduce my geeky self. Not that it's already hasn't been present throughout this whole episode, but I have been endeavoring to memorize the Declaration of Independence.
I test her.
Yeah, she checks me. And I was really struck by how in the Declaration of Independence, they talk about that. They talk about how human beings are more disposed to suffer than to help themselves by changing what they're just used to. And the verbiage it uses is, mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. And I can identify with that.
Yeah.
If I'm just used to something,
Yeah.
I'm comfortable enough with it, right?
Right.
It's familiar. I'm used to
Right.
it. It's not great, but I'll just suffer with it.
But but I gotta say
yes, go ahead.
that with that, I do feel like there's sort of like you get used to the suffering.
Yes.
So prior
yes.
to that, there's like this window where you're like, I don't like this.
Right.
And if you don't go through that window or go through that doorway to try and make a change at that point,
you
then
just
you
settle
get comfortable.
in,
Then you get
inertia.
you get comfortable with the initial discomfort,
Right.
and you're used to it now.
Yes.
And so then it takes something
Right.
for you to then get uncomfortable again.
Yes.
And normally it's things getting worse.
Yes.
Which is a blessing, though. Is a blessing.
And that's like what the Declaration of Independence talks about too.
I know, because I heard you say it.
Right? It says, okay, so mankind are more disposed to suffer than to correct things if they're just used to something. But it says, but when a long train of abuses evinces a design to reduce mankind under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. So if things, in other words, when things become just ridiculously
When it hits the fan.
too much, and you are being reduced as a human being, you are being reduced by these repeated abuses, you're going to get sick and tired of it. And it's your right. And not only is it your right, but it's your duty as a divine being, as a human being. It is your duty to act that way and to use your divine powers to provide new guards for your future security. You should take care of yourself as a divine being. Respect yourself, respect your divinity, and use the gifts and the abilities that have been given to you as a human to right yourself, to do what's right by yourself.
Very good. Very good, Toast.
Thank you. I'll recite the Declaration for you on the 4th of July. It's coming up. Okay. So that is our episode.
So thanks so much for listening, everyone. I appreciate it.
Yes, have a great week. And until next time,
This is Sienna.
and this is Toast. Telling you, love life, live free.